This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold8, the Passport Edition. And we're going to be trying out the camera on this and even comparing it to the Z Fold8 Ultra in those telephoto areas. So which folding phone do you actually need if you care about the camera? As usual, to test this out, we're going to be breaking it down into these categories and figuring out where it really falls short as a camera phone rather than just a, wow, it's a new foldable. Dude, it's just the grip on this is so comfortable. Like I can actually use it one-handed without thinking too much. I really like that about this phone. Really, really like that. And to snap a photo, just power button, power button. It's like a gun. Pew, 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 pew. That's not a gun, that's the... Damn it, Celine! Starting with the ultra-wide on this. Now, what we've expected to see from Samsung phones pretty much is consistent across to this phone as well. It comes with a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Results are very, very nice. Ultra-wide is harder to nail. Even if you increase the megapixel in low light situations, you do have a hard time. But this is able to balance out the HDR performance. So both indoor and outdoor, the exposure looks very, very nice. The distortion on the sides isn't as bad as we've seen on some of the other phones before, but this is pretty much almost exactly one-to-one with what we've seen with other Samsung phones. So nothing huge to talk about, but if you compare it to the previous generation folding phone, then you will see the ultra-wide is pretty... Then you'll see the Then you'll see the ultra-wide has actually improved a lot compared to the Z Fold 7. One thing to note is that the ultra-wide's minimum focusing distance is really, really good. So we don't have a dedicated macro category, but within the ultra-wide is where the macro kicks in, and it has a very close minimum focusing distance from the shots that you can see. Captures really good detail thanks to that 50 megapixel sensor. For the 1X, let's actually try out the bokeh to see the natural bokeh without portrait mode. So bringing it closer, you can see the shallow depth of field. Not crazy shallow compared to what we've seen, but decent enough. Minimum focusing distance seems to sit right over there. And then this is the 1X, the bokeh in the back that we're seeing. Pretty decent. Now the main camera, this is pretty much what you'd be using most of the times because you don't really have much of an option. With the 1X, the results are actually pretty good. Exactly what you'd expect to see from Samsung. Great colors, great contrast, great color reproduction. It looks very, very nice. HDR is maintained really well. Minimum focusing distance is pretty good. Obviously switch to the ultra-wide if you want that macro capability. But for 1X, you're getting really good results as well, both for photo and video. Okay, now as far as portraits on this go, pretty much exactly what I expected. So I generally like shooting at 2X. And the results at 2X are very good, considering that this doesn't have a telephoto lens. You still get really good color reproduction and edge separation. Not the best I've seen compared to some other phones in the market, especially considering the price range on this. But the 1X looks really, really nice. 2X looks decent as well. Not going to be the one you replace your DSLR or mirrorless with, but it can get the job done for day-to-day portraits rather than like a dedicated phone like the S26 Ultra or even the Z Fold8 Ultra. Yeah, at least on phone itself, it looks like the Ultra has a little bit more contrast in the tuning, while the Z Fold8, the Passport style one, looks a little bit more neutral, a little bit more natural. The blacks aren't crushed as much. It's not as contrasty. Edge separation wise though, almost exactly the same because they're both using the main camera sensor. The advantage the Ultra has is you can do 3X portraits. And boom. And I take 3X on this one. I can't even push past 2X, it's only 2X. Now onto the telephoto category. This is a pseudo telephoto category because technically this doesn't even come with a telephoto lens. This is the main camera sensor that you can crop into to get that 2X. But with this one, you're going to go well beyond, and it really does show the difference. With the Z Fold8 Ultra, you will feel like you have a telephoto camera. With this, it feels like you are compromising. Again, do you really go beyond 2X? If you do, then you will feel like this is not the right fit for you, but up to 2X, the results are pretty good. Even the portraits taken at 2X look really good. Video looks really good. Anything beyond that, honestly, not even worth using. So that's a question you need to ask yourself. Are you someone who uses the telephoto a lot? If you are, definitely get this one over this one. This will disappoint you. Now for video, thank God they have given access to APV video recording. So the max you can do in APV is up to 8K at 30 FPS. But in this case, I'm going to shoot in 4K at 60 because I want to slow this down. I'm going to drop this into the fountain there and then get the ripples going around it, get it spinning a little bit, get it spinning, and then record it on the Z Fold8. Cool thing is to get a lower angle, I can unfold it like this so the camera lens is really low, and then I can just film it like this. I don't litter. Stop showing it. Stop. And then we do this, and then this. And then this. Ooh! Oh! Whoa! As far as video goes, pretty good performance off of this. Like I said, 1x looks great, 2x looks pretty good. In ultra-wide, our stabilization is very, very nice. Even recording in APV, which is the highest quality format possible on any of the Samsung phones as they introduced with the S26 Ultra. So it supports that. You can use the LUTs it comes with, which looks very, very nice as well. Celine said to try horizontal lock. Let's do it.
Is it horizontal lock or horizontal?
Horizontal lock.
Is it horizontal?
Horizontal lock.
No.
Celine, it's horizontal lock, Celine.
Isn't it horizon?
Horizontal. Walk towards me. 3, 2, 1, go. Damn! So we did a full 360 and then look at what it looks like on the video. Completely straight. Whoa! Huh? Huh? Horizontal. I'm gonna record and then I'm gonna get in frame right here. I want it to focus on Celine. Get back in. Let's see, fan cam. Celine. Follow. Whoa! Wait, actually low key.
This is like for K-pop stands.
Wait, no way. Celine, that's actually dope.
Yeah.
And even when you go behind me.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what do you mean? That's so sick.
Yeah.
And you can choose the ratio too. 1:1, 3:4, 9:16, 2:3, 3:5, 4:5, 5:7. Both horizontal and vertical. That's a cool feature. We're gonna do 4K 30 on the Z Fold8 Ultra, and I'm gonna zoom into this sign, starting with ultra-wide, and then push it to 1x, then 2x, then 3x, then 10x, then 15x. That's what it's like at max zoom, and then going back to 0.6. Let's do the same on the wide. Thank you. Bless me. Bless you. Whoa! Thank you. Starting at ultra-wide, that's 0.6, 1x, 2x, 4x, 10x. That is our maximum zoom, and it's really breaking apart already all the way back down to 0.6. Now, if you want to take your videography on your phone to the next level, you definitely want to check out our Pocket Cinematic course, which will teach you how you take your smartphone footage from really boring, gross, and cringe to properly cinematic. I'm not going to sell this to you, we've done it 100 times, but definitely check out the button. It's going to be somewhere here, or the link in the description to find out more about it. And if you want to elevate your mobile filmmaking and your mobile filmmaking cinematic experience, definitely check out Pocket Cinematic. You see yourself?
Yeah.
You proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it. The camera on the Z Fold8, the wider Passport Edition, is pretty good. Honestly, for most things, this is a decent camera. I'm not saying this is an amazing camera, but when you consider how much you're paying for this, if you're someone who's going to be taking a lot of photos and you're really into that, especially when it comes to telephoto, you might feel like you're missing out and you're paying more than you're getting. But as a day-to-day camera, honestly, pretty solid. If you're using this for entertainment, watching movies and stuff on the go, the bigger screen on this is obviously valuable. For shooting as an experience, holding the phone like this and just snapping the photos away, this is a lot easier to use. Camera-wise, I would rate this a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty decent. But if you were going for a camera and a foldable, the Z Fold8 Ultra is definitely a better option, not just because of the telephoto, but the flexibility you get all the way from ultra-wide to the telephoto. Processing is slightly different, but all in all, these both are really, really good. Better for camera is this one. This is pretty good too. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Do you need a good camera phone on a foldable phone? Curious to know what you guys think. See you guys again in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.